My name is Harriet Tubman. People talk about the Underground Railroad as if it were a place. It was not a place. It was people, linked quietly, carefully, and only when trust allowed. Nothing about it was written down. Nothing was announced. The railroad existed only as long as people kept their word. Before I ever brought someone north, I learned how the network breathed. On the southern side, I listened for fear that had turned into readiness. On the northern side, I learned who could shelter others without asking questions, who could stay silent under pressure, who would never repeat a story for attention. You could not move people without moving trust first. I did not arrive and gather crowds. I arrived and tested the ground, one conversation at a time, one look held long enough to know whether a person could carry risk. When I invited someone to move, it was because I already knew how they handled uncertainty. Word traveled the only way it could, through outcomes. Someone's family disappeared and was later known to be free. A message came back through a cousin, a church contact, a trusted intermediary. People did not follow me because I asked them to. They followed because others had survived. On the northern side, the work did not stop. Safe houses were never safe forever. Routes changed. Allies aged, moved, or were exposed. I had to keep the network alive, refreshing trust, testing silence, never assuming yesterday's protection would hold tomorrow.
When people finally moved, they felt the weight lift just enough to take the next step. Not because danger was gone, but because Someone was holding a pattern. They knew he would not panic. They knew he would change course if the night turned wrong. They knew he would not abandon the group to save himself. That is what leadership felt like to them. Not comfort. Not speech. But steadiness. The Underground Railroad worked because it was small, adaptive, and human. No central command. No fixed route. Just people who knew when to speak, when to wait, and when silence was the only protection we had. If you want to understand gathering under real pressure, understand this: a room does not have to be visible. The network does not have to be named. What matters is that trust moves faster than fear, and that someone is paying attention to both. That is how people crossed. That is how the network held. And that is why we are still speaking of it now.